We have to end it on baseball because this happens to be, I think, one of the greatest loves of our friend Rich Lowry here, Charlie. I hear him talk about it all the time. He does like preseason openers. He watches like the practices. He watches the games before anybody's there. Like the man loves baseball. And the Phillies hit a home run and the ball went into the stands and the ball landed kind of in front of this group of people, but there was a scrum to grab it. And the guy in the red shirt, this dad, ran over. He got it. He goes back and gives it to his kid. An angry Karen lady comes over, starts yelling at him, and you can hear her yelling here. Let's play this out.
Sometimes you need that reset. Oh.
And Bader just unloads on this one. Deep left field, and that one is gone as Bader goes back-to-back with Brandon. What a long home run to left for Harrison Bader. It's his 15th of the year. And his third since joining the Phillies. It's 5-1.
All right. By now, we've all seen the video of the confrontation at a Phillies game last week over a home run ball. Now we are hearing from the family at the center of it. Drew Feltwell came up with that baseball after a scrum in the crowd, and he gave it to his son, Lincoln. But a woman confronted Drew, grabbing his arm, demanding the ball. And told our Christian Benavidez that giving up the ball was worth much more than the souvenir.
It was meant to be a celebration. The Feltwell family sat in the outfield, hoping to field a home run ball for Lincoln's 10th birthday.
I was hoping to put it in his glove and maybe he'd be on the big TV. Watching the game could see it up there and, oh, I saw you, Lincoln. You know, that was the big plan.
The plan was coming true. A shot to left field, seats away from the family.
And that one is gone.
Drew Feltwell grabbed it and handed it to his grinning son. A perfect moment until a woman in their section came over.
So we brought you a cool little goodie bag.
I don't mind that she grabbed me and was standing there, but she was leaning over me as I was leaning back and just screaming in my face, like vulgar curse words in front of my kids.
What was her argument to you?
There was no argument in the beginning, just a lot of curse words, and that's my ball.
The latest turn in the Phillies Karen saga is as bizarre as it is telling. A woman named Cheryl Richardson-Wagner had to publicly declare that she was not the viral villain, going so far as to point out that she's a Red Sox fan and wasn't even in Florida the day of the game. And yet, despite her denials, her name has been dragged into the storm, forcing a local school district to issue statements to quash rumors. This is where the story has gone far beyond baseball. A home run ball that should have been a child's dream moment has snowballed into a social media witch hunt. The viral clip was clear. A woman leaned in, grabbed the ball, and confronted the father who had given it to his son. The stadium booed, and by nightfall, she had a nickname designed to sting, Phillies Karen. What followed was predictable in today's outrage cycle. Memes, TikTok edits, side-by-side comparisons to infamous fan moments, and endless online sleuthing. But what wasn't predictable is how quickly innocent people became collateral damage. False IDs spread faster than facts, with Richardson-Wagner and even entire school districts being dragged into a controversy they had no part in. Now the question is no longer about the ball. It's about how far we've let viral outrage redefine what it means to be a fan in the stands, and who gets caught in the crossfire when the internet decides someone is guilty. It began with a moment that should have been pure joy. Harrison Bader of the Phillies sent a home run soaring into the left field stands at Lone Depot Park. The cameras caught everything. A boy in the front row, glove raised high, ready for the dream catch every young fan waits for. But in an instant, that dream was yanked away. A woman in a Phillies jersey leaned in, grabbed the ball, and held it like a trophy. The stadium's cheers turned into groans, and the broadcast picked up the stunned reaction of thousands of fans who felt they had just witnessed something unfair. What might have been a forgettable scramble for a foul ball instead ignited a firestorm. Within minutes, clips of the moment flooded TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Users didn't hesitate to crown her with a name guaranteed to stick: Phillies Karen. Once that label was out there, the narrative was set in stone. No matter what her side of the story might be, the internet had already cast her as the villain. The reaction went far beyond ordinary fan chatter. Memes compared the scene to the infamous Steve Bartman incident with the Cubs in 2003. Comment threads pulled up memories of Yankee Stadium's ball hog dad, who refused to share a foul ball. Suddenly, this wasn't just another baseball clip. It was part of a long lineage of fans behaving badly, moments destined to live forever in highlight reels and digital compilations. And the timing couldn't have been worse for the woman in the stands. Fans recorded every angle, her protests of "my hand" echoing across the broadcast. She wasn't just someone who happened to grab a baseball, she was now the centerpiece of a morality play about sportsmanship, greed, and entitlement. From the stands to the screen, the transformation was immediate. A home run ball turned into a symbol, a fan turned into a meme, and the world had a new controversy to dissect. If the stadium's boos were loud, the internet's reaction was deafening. Within hours, the clip of the woman snatching that home run ball exploded across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Fans didn't just share it, they remixed it, slowed it down, and layered it with dramatic music. Every angle, every frame, became part of a viral reel designed to make her look like the ultimate villain of the week. The label, Phillies Karen, spread faster than the footage itself. Hashtags trended, edits went viral, and suddenly, a local ballpark moment was being dissected on international feeds. TikTok creators mocked her with parody skits, while Twitter threads pulled up comparisons to every infamous fan scandal in Major League Baseball history. The Steve Bartman saga, the Chicago Cubs foul ball drama, even the dad at Yankee Stadium accused of stealing from a kid, this new moment instantly joined that hall of shame. And as always, the memes took it even further. One viral post mocked up a Halloween costume starter pack, a Phillies jersey, a foam finger, and the word Karen in bold letters. Redditors created entire threads speculating about her life story, attaching backstories that were more fiction than fact. What mattered wasn't accuracy, it was entertainment. But the online ridicule wasn't just about laughs. The tone was brutal. Commenters branded her selfish, entitled, and out of touch with the spirit of the game. Others took a darker turn, digging for her identity and trying to piece together where she worked or lived. In today's culture, outrage is never satisfied with memes. It always wants a name, a face, and a target. By the next day, this wasn't just a baseball highlight gone wrong. It was a morality tale, amplified by millions of strangers who had no connection to the game, but felt invested in the outcome. The woman in the stands had become more than a fan. She was now a symbol of how quickly the internet can turn one awkward moment into a global pylon. Lost in the chaos of the memes and the outrage was the man who stood right at the center of it all, the father in the red Phillies jersey. He was the one who actually secured the ball during the scramble. He caught it, turned to his son, and handed it over, a gesture that should have been a picture-perfect memory.
And he gave it back. He took it out of his son's mitt and gave it to you took it from me, lady. So your verdict on who's right and who's wrong here, Rich, is what?
Oh, she's clearly in the wrong. So the basic rule is foul ball, home run, adults involved, it's a scrum, right? And it's just a fight to the finish until someone secures the ball and holds it up.
But in that same instant, he found himself face to face with a furious fan demanding the ball back. The cameras caught everything, her pointing, her insistence, the look of hesitation on his face. Should he stand firm and keep the ball for his child, or should he cave just to de-escalate the confrontation? It was a split-second decision, but one that instantly became a lightning rod for debate. Online, fans were quick to pick sides. Some praised him for being the adult in the room, arguing that keeping the night peaceful for his son was more important than clinging to a baseball. Others blasted him for what they saw as weakness, insisting he should have never given in to pressure, especially with his kid watching. As one commenter put it bluntly, that ball wasn't just a souvenir. It was a memory, and you don't let anyone snatch memories away. Even late-night comedians joined the chorus, turning the dad's hesitation into punchlines. One joked that Phillies fans are notorious for booing Santa Claus, so of course they'd boo a dad who didn't stand his ground. The humor only added fuel to the debate. Was he a peacekeeper, or did he unintentionally reward bad behavior? And that tension, between pride and peace, between protecting a moment and avoiding a scene, is what gave this story its emotional weight. It wasn't just about a ball anymore, it was about parenting under pressure, in an era when every decision is recorded, uploaded, and judged by millions. The father's choice set the tone for what came next. And once national media voices stepped in, the controversy took on a whole new life. The story could have remained a sports side curiosity, another viral clip destined to fade after a few days of memes. But that changed the moment Megyn Kelly put it under her spotlight. On her show, she rolled the footage, let the audience hear the fans' frustrated shouts, and then asked the question everyone else was only debating online. Was this about baseball etiquette, or about something much bigger? Her panel didn't hold back. Rich Lowry, longtime political commentator, went straight to what he called the unwritten rule of the stands. If adults are scrambling for a ball, it's fair game, until a child is involved. At that moment, he argued, every grown-up is supposed to step aside. By snatching the ball and then confronting a father in front of his kid, this fan had broken one of the sport's most sacred codes. But the discussion didn't stop there. Charlie Sykes jumped in with a different perspective.
Then it's their ball. But the other rules are, if there's a kid involved in the scrum and you're aware of it as an adult, you back off because you want the kid to get it. And if you catch a ball and it's not like, Aaron Judge's 500th career home run or something, sell for $500,000, you take the photo with it, you're happy, then you toss it to the nearest kid. Thinking because a ball landed in your vicinity, it's yours, and then going and confronting a father who got it for his kid is so outlandish.
He admitted that while he understood why the father chose to de-escalate, he personally would never have given up the ball. No way in hell, he put it, does anyone take something from my kid once I've handed it over. It was a blunt counterpoint that turned the segment into a genuine debate, not just a pile-on. What made Kelly's coverage resonate was the way she framed it. This wasn't simply about one foul ball. It was about how fandom, parenting, and public shaming collide in today's culture. She joked that she's become a part-time sports commentator, moving from tennis scandals to NFL spats and now baseball. But her delivery carried an edge. The viral moment, she said, revealed less about one fan's bad behavior and more about how fast outrage spreads, how easily lives get upended, and how the internet demands villains. By the time the segment ended, the clip had gone from social media frenzy to a mainstream cultural flashpoint. What began in the bleachers was now being dissected on national television, with pundits debating not just sportsmanship, but the very nature of public humiliation. Just when it seemed like the memes and media chatter would carry the scandal on their own, the Phillies organization decided to intervene. Their move was simple: make things right for the young boy caught in the middle. Harrison Bader, the player who launched the homer, personally signed a bat and included other memorabilia, which the team sent directly to the family. On the surface, it was a wholesome gesture, the kind of feel-good moment that could reset the narrative. But the internet didn't see it that way. Critics quickly framed the response as an overcorrection. Some argued that the team's involvement turned a minor ballpark spat into a major public relations production. Others claimed it set a dangerous precedent. If every viral fan meltdown ended with signed gear and a make-good package, would outrage now be rewarded as a matter of policy? The backlash only deepened when comparisons surfaced. Commentators pointed back to the 2003 Steve Bartman incident in Chicago, where a single fan's interference during the NLCS led to years of harassment. The Cubs stayed silent for over a decade before finally gifting Bartman a World Series ring as a gesture of reconciliation. The Phillies, by contrast, reacted almost instantly, rushing to control the narrative before it consumed one of their own games. For some, that quick response was admirable, a sign that baseball had learned from past mistakes. For others, it was proof that franchises now fear social media mobs as much as rival teams. Instead of letting the moment fade naturally, the Phillies had unintentionally poured gasoline on the fire.
It's this just isn't done. I haven't ever seen anything like this before. Now, look, I don't think her life should be ruined over it. I don't like the sleuthing to try to identify her and get her fired from her job or whatever. No one's found her yet. She's probably walking around Philadelphia in Mets paraphernalia right now to maintain her deep cover. But her conduct was terrible and inexcusable.
While the boy celebrated his new treasure and the family gained a heartwarming resolution, fans online were still divided. Was this corporate kindness or calculated PR, a genuine act of goodwill, or a sign that every fan drama now requires a press release and a gift bag? Either way, the team's involvement ensured one thing: the story wasn't going away anytime soon. The longer the woman in the stands stayed silent, the louder the internet filled in the blanks. Within a day, rumors started spreading faster than the original clip itself. Some claimed she'd been fired from her job in a New Jersey school district. Others insisted she was hiding out in rival team gear to avoid recognition in Philadelphia. None of it was verified, but in the age of viral outrage, speculation doesn't wait for confirmation. It becomes the story. The name that circulated most widely was Cheryl Richardson-Wagner. Threads on Reddit and Twitter identified her as the so-called Phillies Karen, attaching side-by-side photos and insisting they'd found their culprit. But the narrative collapsed when Richardson-Wagner spoke out herself. In a Facebook post, she denied everything, stating clearly she wasn't at the game, she wasn't even in Florida, and that she's a die-hard Red Sox fan. To prove the point, she even joked that her biggest crime was rooting for Boston, not stealing foul balls. Despite her statement, the false ID had already done damage. A local school district was dragged into the chaos, forced to issue denials after internet sleuths claimed she worked there. It was a reminder of how quickly innocent people can become collateral damage once a viral label takes hold. Meanwhile, the actual woman from the clip remained completely silent. No statements, no interviews, no attempts to defend herself. That silence only made the speculation louder. TikTok creators swore they had spotted her in disguise. Comment sections filled with theories about her background and motives. What could have been one embarrassing night at the ballpark had transformed into a digital manhunt. And this is where the scandal shifted into something darker. The focus wasn't on a baseball anymore. It was on identity, on punishment, and on how far the public was willing to go to track down someone who broke an unwritten rule of fandom. In many ways, the mystery of her silence only gave the outrage more fuel. Just when the scandal seemed to be spiraling out of control, a new player entered the drama, a sports memorabilia company called Blowout Cards. Their announcement turned heads instantly. They were offering $5,000 to the woman at the center of the controversy. But there was a catch. She would only get the money if she returned the baseball and signed it with an apology addressed to the boy, Lincoln. The offer wasn't just about memorabilia. It was a headline grabber, and it reframed the debate overnight. What started as outrage over a snatched ball was suddenly about redemption, money, and whether contrition could be bought. Some fans saw the gesture as clever marketing, others as a genuine attempt to make things right. But the condition attached, a signed apology, was what made it so striking. It wasn't enough for the ball to come back. The woman had to put her remorse in writing for everyone to see. The father, Drew Feltwell, weighed in again, this time with a plea for restraint.
All right, what do we think, Charlie, of this incident? And what do we think? Some are giving the dad a hard time for giving the ball back, for taking the ball from the son and giving it to the angry Karen.
Yeah, it's just so unusual, isn't it, to find an intemperate sports fan from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
For the first time this has ever happened.
Despite all the noise online, he urged people not to harass the woman, not to track her down, and not to escalate a viral story into something dangerous. His message was clear. His family had their memento, they had closure, and they didn't need anyone seeking vigilante justice. But by then, the internet was already running with the $5,000 twist. Commenters debated whether she'd ever take the deal. Some argued she should grab the money and apologize just to move on. Others said she'd never surface, fearing the spotlight would only make things worse. The irony, of course, was that the ball itself, a simple home run souvenir, had become priceless not for its place in baseball history, but because of the controversy attached to it. What should have been a kid's keepsake was now a bargaining chip in the outrage economy. And the longer the mystery woman stayed silent, the more the offer itself became part of the spectacle. By the time the dust settled, one thing was clear. This wasn't just about a baseball anymore. A home run souvenir had turned into a national spectacle, a morality play dissected on TV panels, and a cautionary tale about how quickly outrage spins out of control. What should have been a kid's moment of joy had instead exposed the mechanics of modern shame culture. Think about the progression. One ball lands in the stands, a fan grabs it, the stadium boos. By that evening, TikTok edits and memes are everywhere. Within 24 hours, internet detectives are naming names. Some wrongly accused are forced to defend themselves, and an entire school district issues statements. Within 48 hours, Megyn Kelly is breaking it down on national television. And within a week, a trading card company is attaching a $5,000 bounty for redemption. The escalation is staggering. It reveals something larger about the world we're living in. Baseball has always been about nostalgia, family traditions, and the magic of a moment. But in 2025, every foul ball comes with the risk of becoming content. Every fan is one viral clip away from being a meme, a villain, or the subject of an internet hunt. Teams like the Phillies now find themselves not just managing players on the field, but controlling narratives online. And yet, at the heart of it all, there's still a kid with a glove who just wanted to catch a ball. There's still a father who wanted to give his son a memory without turning it into a fight. And there's still an unnamed woman whose silence has only deepened the mystery. The Phillies Karen saga is more than a story about one game. It's a snapshot of how sports, fandom, and outrage now collide in real time. The next time a foul ball flies into the stands, the real question won't just be who catches it. It'll be whether the moment belongs to the fans in the stadium or to the internet waiting to turn it into the next viral controversy.